Fresh off his sweep of Alaska, Washington State, and Hawaii, the Burn-mentum part of Bernie Sanders' campaign is back. But he is still far behind Hillary Clinton in the delegate count, both the superdelegates and the normal kind.
I think the momentum is with us. A lot of these superdelegates may rethink their position with Secretary Clinton. A lot have not yet declared. And then you got superdelegates who are in states where we win by 40 or 50 points. I think their own constituents are going to say to them, hey, why don't you support the people of our state, vote for Sanders.
All right, superdelegates, again, we talked a lot about them in 2008 when Clinton also had an early edge among Democratic Party elders, but then lost it to the tidal wave that was then Senator Barack Obama. Our political panel, Democratic strategist Craig Verroga and a Republican counterpart, David Payne, here to decode if Bernie-mentum is real. Interesting this morning, gentlemen, on Easter Sunday, no less, that the RNC and Bernie Sanders had the same talking point. And Craig, I'll put it to you first, but they said, look, Clinton is 1 for 6 in the last contest. It shows how weak she is. Are they right?
I mean, Bernie had a great night last night, and he's going to have some more good nights. I mean, he's sort of like the Energizer Bunny, and he keeps on going and going, and he's not going to stop. He's going to raise a lot of money today. He's going to raise a lot of money tomorrow. But Secretary Clinton still leads in the pledged delegates, the normal kind that you were just talking about, and I think it's going to be close to impossible for him to win. But he's not going anywhere. He's going all the way to the end.
Does this help Republicans in the sense that we even see the RNC sort of getting behind Bernie a little bit, at least in their talking points, as to how this plays out?
Well, I don't know that it helps the Republican candidates in any way, because when Bernie Sanders is matched up against the Republicans in hypothetical polls, he often wins. He often beats Donald Trump. He's even beating Ted Cruz and John Kasich in some cases. But look, math, since we're talking about it, has never been a strength for socialists, and the math is against Bernie Sanders here. The delegates aren't adding up for him. Yes, he is winning some states, but he's not winning black voters. He's not winning Hispanic voters. And without that kind of momentum, it's not sustainable, and he won't have the delegate count to win.
A lot of folks are pointing now, Craig, to New York. April 19th, a lot of delegates up for grabs. Hillary Clinton's sort of adopted home state, if you will. She was a senator from there. Sanders seems to be making a big push in New York, says he's going to be making a big push over the next couple of weeks. If he makes New York competitive, does that push this farther along?
Well, I mean, the kind of night he had last night is not the kind of night that, or type of morning that anybody wants to wake up to when you're the front runner. New York is very important to her. It's where her campaign is, but it's also where Senator Sanders was raised. He will make it a campaign, but I still think that she has a strong advantage there. Certainly all the polls she does. He needs to win in Wisconsin, more so than she even needs to, to win at this point in New York.
All right, so we will move on now to the Republicans. Interesting, all three candidates basically took the Easter weekend off. They did appear on the Sunday shows. Big topic there, terror. Take a listen to Senator Ted Cruz with Shannon Bream.
This was part of a global jihad being waged by radical Islamic terrorism. It is a jihad being waged on Europe, being waged on Israel, and being waged on the United States of America. And for 7 years, President Obama and Hillary Clinton and this administration have been so bound up by political correctness, they've refused to acknowledge what it is we're fighting.
All right, so Craig, to you, as we've seen sort of the uptick in the number of ISIS attacks and from San Bernardino, Paris, and now obviously Brussels, in a grim way, does this sort of hurt the Democrats, help the Republicans broadly, and that the conversation is now so focused on terror and Americans' fears?
Yeah, I think short term it probably helps Trump in the nominating process on the Republican side. Long term, because he is so erratic and so unpredictable and so out of control, I believe that he can easily be portrayed, and correctly, as somebody who doesn't have the temperament to be commander-in-chief or to fight terrorism.
Well, and we even saw, David, in the past couple of days, a number of police chiefs, Mayor Bill de Blasio, police commissioner there in New York, really come out very tough against what Ted Cruz has been saying.
Well, I think there's two things at work here. One, ever since the Paris attacks, going back a little ways now, this has become, in a way, a national security election. America's policy on ISIS was created by Barack Obama and by Hillary Clinton. So I think, in some ways, she has to own that. The Republicans, all of them, Donald Trump included, and certainly Ted Cruz, are going to be running against her record and Obama's record on our policy on ISIS, which is really a lack of policy.
Is that a problem for the Democratic nominee, especially if it's Hillary Clinton?
Look, I think Secretary Clinton has more experience and better temperament than any of the Republicans who are running.
Well, experience and temperament are one thing, but if things haven't worked out so well and you were at the helm in places like Libya, among others, how do you say I have experience even though I didn't
look,
do well?
Clearly this is and it should be a topic of national concern, and it should be part of the presidential campaign. So far, we have not seen a single Republican candidate who can talk about it in a credible way. Donald Trump certainly can, and he in all likelihood is going to be the nominee.
Interesting. All right, David, last word.
Well, I think if we head, as Paul Ryan has said, into an open or a contested convention, I think that's still a big question we have to answer. Will Donald Trump be the nominee?
For junkies like us.
we love to talk about it, don't we?
Yes,
All right, Craig, David, appreciate it.
Thank
Happy
you,
Easter to you and yours, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.